Hey everybody, welcome back to Spooky Pizza Gift Shop. My name is Ken. I forgot to add this to the end of my last zine, or to my end of my last video, because I was talking so much about what's in this issue of the codex that I wrote. I was so busy doing shameless self-promotion that I wanted to talk a little bit about how my editing gets done, because I know a few people are out there interested. I got about halfway done with this thing, and it just sat there on my to-do list for the longest time. And I said, I need to get this done and get it out there. So I started writing, and I write a lot on just regular old notebook paper. This is actually 36 pages of stuff that I got because I was at 20 pages, and this should be 40. And I was actually using these gel roller pens that I got. I had two packages, one at the Dollar Tree and one at the Dollar General, and one is much better than the other. So I have a video about that, so I am going to talk about that because now I have a lot of experience with this. So not all of this actually made it into here, so some of this will end up in the next issue, which will be issue number 5. Lord only knows when that'll come out. So, but it takes a long time. So I had a note here. I finally printed it all out single-sided so that I can go through and read it and see what it looks like. I had a note, do final edits, need to get to 40 pages because I think, yeah, this one actually ended up being 42. And I will go back and add things in. I will cross things off. This looks like the next to the last one. If I find something wrong, I will make a note of it here, and I'll put a little mark in the side here, and then I'll put one at the top so I can just flip through and look. I rewrote a lot of this chapter, so there's like whole sections of here that had to come out, and had to do a lot of corrections. So sometimes I know I've got a chapter that needs a lot of work, and I'll just pull it out separately. Lots and lots of corrections. So, yeah, and then I have to add, like if I don't have enough room to fit stuff in, I'll put it down at the bottom. So, then I finally will work it up as a booklet, just so I can get an idea of what it physically looks like. And I said final edits, yay! And I put the date, and then I realized, the date comes on here automatically. Thank you to LaTeX. And I don't know why this is, but my printer, when I print double-sided, will sometimes shift everything this way about 1/4 of an inch. So if you see, this has a really wide margin, and this has a really narrow margin, and it's like that throughout the whole thing. Wide margin, narrow margin. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There's something in the settings that I forget to look at. But every time I get to this point, I think, okay, it's done. I'm just going to have to go through and find a few typos. And typos, nope, had to reword stuff, had to add some things, had to take some things out. So I think it's going to be just a few typos. And no, I'm still rearranging things so that they make sense. I had a really hard time with this because I did have to rearrange a lot of stuff, and then the words didn't flow. So, but I thought, okay, now I'm done. Made all those changes, printed it out again, and yeah, still found a lot of issues that I had to go through and change. And you'll notice when I start getting to this point, I'll make that little mark in pencil, and then when I change it on the computer, I'll go back and make a tick mark with a pen so that I know. I need the 2 levels so that I know I actually did it. And again, I just had so many things that I kept finding, and that's very typical. And then final round of edits, hopefully. And this one was pretty good. This time I did it in red and green, and I still found mostly typos, had a few word choice issues. But I'm like, okay, we are so close to getting done. Did it one more time. Finally done. Nope, but this is the last set of edits that we are making. And what I mean by this is written work is never really done. You just kind of abandon it. But I looked, and I'm like, there are probably still typos in here. But at some point, it's more important just to get something out, even if it's not perfect, because I can make this perfect. it'll just never get out there. It'll take me forever. It's like traveling at light speed. You have infinite mass and infinite volume, and you require infinite energy. So better to just push something out, even though you know it probably has some typos in it, rather than just sit on it and never get it out there. So this all is going to go back in the recycling bin. This I'm hanging on to because I know some of it I didn't use. This video will come out in a few weeks. So until then, thanks for watching. That's kind of how my editorial process goes.